Captain America Civil War was a Captain America movie, but also featured a lot of the Avengers, so the counterpart will be a Flash story featuring other heroes. So, the first movie of Phase 3 is Flashpoint. Barry Allen goes back in time to save his mother, only to find a dark timeline. He tries to reverse it, only to find he doesn't have his powers. He is then attacked by Hal Jordan, who in this timeline is the villain Parallax. He is saved by Cyborg, who leads him to his resistance against Parallax, which includes John Stewart, who in this timeline is just a regular soldier without his ring, White Canary, a version of Black Canary without her canary cry, Citizen Cold, a version of Captain Cold who was never a villain, and two new heroes, Black Lightning and Batman. Leading up to this, DC would make a deal with Sony to get Batman in the DCU. They help recreate the accident that gave Barry Allen his powers. They're then attacked by Parallax. Seeking more help, they seek out Oliver Queen, only to find he was never lost on the island, and so he never became Green Arrow in this timeline, but they managed to convince him to become Green Arrow and help them. They break into a government base and find an imprisoned Hawk Girl who attacks them, but Barry manages to calm her down. The team faces off against Parallax, and then Barry goes to reverse his mistakes. The new timeline is mostly the same, but with slight changes. The Atom is a member of the Justice League, Black Lightning is an established hero, and the Batman appeared in Gotham 4 years ago. The third Netflix show would be Captain Atom, Season 1 following his origin story as Nathaniel Atom is experimented on and becomes Captain Atom, while facing off against Major Force. Season 2 has Cobra as the villain. The second movie of Phase 2 is Zatanna, which introduces the mystical side of this universe. Following Zatanna, played by Isa Gonzalez, as she is brought into the world of magic by her father, Giovanni Zatara, protecting her family's mother box from the villain Brother Knight, who is trying to summon the demon Neuron. Neuron is unleashed and kills Brother Knight, but Zatanna manages to banish him again. Allura is introduced as a mentor, but is set up to become a villain in the future. Then the fourth Netflix show, Judo Master, follows World War II veteran Rip Jagger, who, after the war, finds the hidden city of Nanda Parbat, where he does not age, and then returns in present day. Season 1 deals with Simon Stagg as the main villain, while Season 2 has Tiger, Judo Master's sidekick from Season 1, who turns on him. Teen Titans Volume 2 begins with the team joined by new recruit Bumblebee, tracking down and facing Blackfire. They are saved by Brother Blood, who reveals he was sent by Raven's father, Trigon. Trigon uses a human host to manipulate the team before ultimately using Raven's power to break free of his human host and kill Brother Blood. The final confrontation between Starfire and Blackfire culminates in them putting aside their differences when Trigon arrives, with Blackfire joining in the fight and even joining the Titans. Along the way, Garth changes his superhero name to Tempest. As I previously mentioned, Sony owns the rights to Batman in this timeline. They made a trilogy of movies in the 2000s starring Christian Bale, and then 2 movies in the 2010s starring Ben Affleck. Now, Batman is being brought into the DCU with Batman the Caped Crusader, starring Robert Pattinson. This movie establishes in the post-Flashpoint timeline, Bruce Wayne has been Batman for 4 years, while Dick Grayson and Barbara Gordon have been operating as Robin and Batgirl, trying to join him, while Hal Jordan tries to recruit him into the Justice League. However, he insists on working alone. Batman faces off against the Penguin, who also has Firefly and Calculator working for him. Batman manages to defeat the Penguin with the help of Robin and Batgirl, which convinces him to be more open to working with others. He agrees to help the Justice League whenever they need him. The post-credit scene shows the Penguin in prison meeting Poison Ivy. The Netflix shows would culminate in a crossover miniseries, Pax Americana, where Blue Beetle, The Question, Captain Atom, and Judo Master team up against an alien invasion by the Reach, the creators of the Blue Beetle Scarab who come to Earth looking for it. The team is also helped by Booster Gold, where he seemingly dies. The Authority were originally meant to get a movie, but it was reworked into a show at ABC with the original lineup from the comics that would only ever get one season because the show would not be received well and would effectively kill the Authority's reputation to the point that DC would never do anything with them again. The Aquaman trilogy concludes with Aquaman and the Fall of Atlantis, where Black Manta arrives in Atlantis seeking revenge on Aquaman, who killed his father. Black Manta arrives in Atlantis and kills Queen Atlanna. Aquaman and Ocean Master fight Black Manta, who breaks Aquaman's trident, and then they are beamed up to Warworld, a planet ruled by Mongol, where they are forced to fight against Superman. Aquaman and Superman break free and are joined by Jackson Hyde, another half-Atlantean who is also on Warworld, to overthrow Mongol and escape. Back in Atlantis, Aquaman, Ocean Master, Superman, and the new Aqualad face off against Black Manta, with Aquaman losing his hand during the fight. They defeat him, but Atlantis is destroyed, and the movie ends with the Atlanteans searching for a new home. The post-credit scene shows a spaceship floating over the Atlantean ship. The final Netflix show, Peacemaker, would be a spin-off of Blue Beetle, following Peacemaker being recruited into the DEO by Clemson Murn, and honestly after that, things just play out the same as season 1 of the actual show, except split into 2 seasons, and with no connection to Amanda Waller or Argus. Season 1 deals with the butterflies, while Season 2 is more personal, with Peacemaker facing off against his father, the White Dragon. Legion of Superheroes would be a series that lasts for 3 seasons, with the team consisting of Cosmic Boy, Saturn Girl, Lightning Lad, Mon-El, Brainiac 5, and Phantom Girl. The team fights villains including the Fatal Five, Mordru, and the Time Trapper. The final movie before the big event, Black Lightning, follows Jefferson Pierce as he comes out of retirement to deal with the criminal organization, the 100. Led by Tobias Whale, working for him is a cyborg known as Painkiller, who is experimented on by the 100. He turns on Tobias Whale and kills him, and attempts to take down the 100 in a more violent way, before he is defeated by Black Lightning. The post-credits scene shows the Flash arriving to recruit Black Lightning. Justice League Darkseid War begins with the Atlantean ship searching for land when it is intercepted by the arrival of Darkseid's spaceship. Darkseid and his elite arrive and attack them. Darkseid has already taken the first mother box from the Titans. He kills Orm, but the others escape. Superman meets Zatanna, and the two of them recruit Hal Jordan in Gotham. They are attacked by Desaad and Calabac, who are after Zatanna's mother box. Batman, Robin, and Batgirl join in on the fight, and Zatanna casts a spell on the mother box that prevents Desaad from taking it, forcing Desaad to kidnap her. Aquaman, meanwhile, crosses paths with the Titans and takes Tempest and Beast Boy on a journey through the ocean to get himself a new weapon and also replace his hand. Cyborg is attacked by Grail and Kanto, but is saved by the Justice League, who have now recruited Black Lightning, and then they are joined by Superman, who stayed behind, while Green Lantern and Batman save Zatanna from Desaad, with the help of the Titans before fighting Darkseid himself. Zatanna looks into the future and realizes what she needs to do in order to win. She gives Darkseid the mother box. They then follow Darkseid, who is after Cyborg's mother box, with the two teams reuniting, and then Aquaman arrives, now with a harpoon for a hand, alongside Tempest and Beast Boy. However, even with all of the heroes of Earth together, it's no use. Darkseid rips the last mother box out of Cyborg, killing him and giving Darkseid the anti-life equation. The original Justice League members alongside Jon Stewart, Beast Boy, and Blackfire survive, because the Flash sends them into the Speed Force at the last minute before bringing them back. The post-credit scene shows King Faraday sending a signal to someone in space before falling under Darkseid's control. Hawk and Dove would be a series on Freeform that would last for 2 seasons before ending. I don't have much to say about it. The Atom Man Killer Frost has Ray Palmer discovering his wife, Jean Loring, is alive in the microverse. The current Atom, Ryan Choi, helps Ray build a device to enter the microverse. However, it's stolen by Killer Frost, who is losing control of her powers, causing her to slowly freeze to death. They come to an understanding when they are attacked by an old enemy of Ray, the time traveler Kronos. They defeat Kronos and then release Jean from the microverse, using the power she gained from the microverse to give Killer Frost the ability to control her powers. The post-credit scene shows Ray is in the microverse when Darkseid takes over, preventing the anti-life equation from affecting him. The final movie before the big finale would introduce a powerful hero who will turn the tide against Darkseid, Martian Manhunter. The movie takes place in the 90s when J'onn J'onzz and his brother Malefic go to Earth to find the remaining white Martians, who J'onn believes to have massacred all of the other green Martians. On Earth, they find King Faraday, and they discover the white Martians living on Earth. J'onn finds out that Malefic was the one behind the massacre of the green Martians. While some of the white Martians did join him, others didn't. He then tried to kill all of the white Martians as well, however they fled to Earth. Martian Manhunter defeats his brother. He then leaves Earth, but tells King Faraday to contact him in case of an emergency. A post-credit scene shows J'onn arriving to find an Earth ruled by Darkseid. Justice League Final Crisis begins with the remaining heroes now joined by the Atom and Martian Manhunter as they make their final stand against Darkseid. Martian Manhunter reveals there's a counter called the anti-life equation, known as the life equation, out in deep space. They work together to build a working spaceship and go on a journey to find the life equation. Discovering it requires a sacrifice to get to it. Black Canary sacrifices herself, releasing the life equation, which is revealed to be a living being, the life entity which Hal Jordan bonds to, becoming a White Lantern. They return to Earth, where Hal uses his new power to bring all of the heroes back. However, Darkseid is still there, and he sends his entire army into a massive battle against the heroes. At some point, J'onn loses his ring, which goes to Barry Allen. The final battle culminates in Hal destroying Darkseid and his entire army and restoring Earth, but dying in the process. Barry Allen retires, passing the mantle of the Flash to Wally West. The epilogue to the Apocalypse Saga is Batman City of Fear, where Batman returns to Gotham after the events of the Final Crisis and being recruited by Checkmate to investigate an outbreak of fear toxin. Scarecrow is initially introduced as a hero working with Batman before he is of course revealed to be a villain and the one behind the fear toxin. Batman defeats Scarecrow, but the post-credits scene reveals Scarecrow outed Batman's identity to the world. Anyways, that is the end of the Apocalypse Saga. I may or may not cover the Multiverse Saga. I have intentionally left the door open for that, although I have my problems with the Multiverse Saga. Not the same problems as most other people do, but my own problems. I'm one of the people who actually liked Phase 4 and felt Phase 5 was an overcorrection. But anyways, yeah, that's the end of this series for now. Well, I'll still probably do What If Fox owned the Injustice Society and What If Sony owned Batman.